And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Spooky Overlord, who asked the question, who would win a fight? Pyramid Head or Nemesis? I believe when people say Nemesis most of the time, they're talking about the Nemesis from Resident Evil, not Nemesis from, oh god, which comic series? Is it like Valiant or is it like Marvel? Or Nemesis is like a psychotic Batman character. Or Batman-like character, I should say. But yeah, and when we should note, I'm not a big Resident Evil fan. I am aware there are multiple types of Nemesis, but they all seem to have this more or less same general appearance based on what I can find. Some of them do tend to be a bit more, some of them may be a bit taller, burlier, more intelligent, but they're overall have the same level of abilities. The standard Nemesis is usually people seem to go to as like Nemesis T-type. And that Nemesis usually is carrying like a rocket bazooka launcher, whatever. Yeah, and they basically were, let's start with him, seeing as we're already talking about it. They were, because of the Resident Evil and the Umbrella Corporation, all that, they were created as super soldiers, or at least prototype super soldiers. As such, as prototype super soldiers, they are damn hard to kill. They have enhanced physical ability, capable of having strength to leap to great heights with just their feet alone, smash through anything. Nemesis is even able to use one hand to carry and utilize large, heavy-grade weaponry with even rigorous humans would not be able to carry, hence like the giant rocket launcher. Superhuman speed, despite his physique, he's actually able to outrun any human being. He prefers to rapidly sprint towards his opponent like a charging rhino and bludgeon him to death with his strength. Durability, I mean, seriously, the dude the thighs of him is tough as hell. The fact, extreme durable factor has made him one of the most resilient BOWs ever created, and handheld weapons only slow him down. Heavy weapons only momentarily incapacitate it, and only the largest grade industrial weapons show any signs of truly damaging it. It is shown surviving rocket launcher blasts from Carlos Averia, a tank truck explosion, which means that there are probably mortar shells in there. Oh, no, sorry, a tank truck, that's different. And Michael Victor's suicide attack. And then tentacle generation. They even before a secondary mutation, he can generate a long tentacle from his palms. These tentacles are useful for grabbing targets and pulling them towards him. In the remake, he can climb with these tentacles, and his tentacles are Nemesis tentacles are infection when he implanted T-virus portion into Jill after he impaled her at her left arm. Okay. I think this statement, because I'm reading this now, I think this sentence should have been structured: the Nemesis tentacles carry the infection, the T-virus infection, or a infection, when he implanted T-virus portions into Jill after he impaled her. Yeah, you should have structured the sentence, whoever wrote that, more like that. Regenerative healing factors, despite the fact that the tyrant host already the tyrant host already possesses regenerative abilities due to the T-virus enhanced metabolism. The parasite within Nemesis has further boosted his regenerative abilities through its excretions. Even though these regenerative abilities are still much inferior to the G-virus regenerative portions, they are still superior to any regenerative healing, even more than the TOO. Regenerative mutations. When he receives too much damage to properly regenerate from, his power limiter coat is destroyed. His regenerative abilities begin mutating him so as to develop adaptations into response to the trauma. These mutations later on afford him natural weapons consist of numerous spear. These mutations later on afforded him natural weapons consist that should, again, grammar guys, that consists of numerous spear-like tentacles that can tear through any human. By this third form, he had mutated too much and lost most, if not all, of his regenerative powers and humanoid vestige, but developed the power to spit out acid. He's also a skilled combatant and near human level intelligence because he's a super soldier. Now, that being said, his uncontrollable mutations will drain, say, his healing factor. But beyond that, it's the special parasite that makes it superior. His Nemesis weakness is the special parasite that makes it superior. The NET, or net parasite, since its mutagenic qualities weakened its combatant effectiveness as mutations continue. The mutations also made it forget its programmed commands and instead resort to tyrant-like behavior of destroying everything around it. In its final mutated form, it lost all vestiges of human intelligence, but gained more resistance to damage and could spit more powerful forms, spit a powerful venom over long distances. So that's really your only main weakness. You need either heavy grade weapons to put this thing down, or you basically let it mutate so far it burns out. Okay then, so the Pyramid Head is known as Triangle Head in Japanese, or the Boogeyman, is the secondary antagonist in the Silent Hill video game, serving as the main antagonist in Silent Hill 2, its upcoming 2002 remake, and a minor yet important antagonist in Silent Hill Homecoming. He also is a secondary antagonist in 2006's Silent Hill, the movie, and a major anti-villain in 2012's Silent Hill Revelation. In the Silent Hill mythos overall, Pyramid Head is a manifestation of a person's desire to be punished for their misdeeds. He is the judge, jury, and executioner, or the mysterious dark powers of the town. When his actions are cruel and while his actions are cruel and horrific, he is the driving force for someone to come to terms with what they've done, albeit in the most brutal manner possible. He is related to the being Vitel, and this relationship has been kept vague. I don't know who that is. In terms of what this guy is actually capable of, well, this is one of those things where I think it's a bit... The fight, I think, is a bit more obvious. Now, he does have supernatural strength, high endurance, high stamina, swordsmanship capabilities, as he wields this giant cleaver, immortality overall, great knife, whatever that means, which I think is the name of his blade, I'm guessing, summoning multiple pyramid heads, nigh invulnerability to conventional weapons. So, yeah, I mean, let's see here. For some reason, yeah, come on. You had a list of powers and abilities for the Tyrant. You didn't have, but you don't have it for Pyramid Head? You guys sick. Let's see here. Villains Wiki. Can I get a witness? Can I get just an actual, more feats here? Because that's not a lot for me to go off of here. I need to kind of know what you mean by immortal and all that. Because there are different types of immortality. Unfortunately, they do not seem to want to give me this. So I'm going to have to go by what I have here, plus the little I do know about the series of Silent Hill. So, size-wise, it should note that the Tyrant is huge. Pyramid Head is really just a normal sized individual. Like a tall guy, probably like the 6-foot range. But the pyramid object on his head does make him seem bigger than he really is. So, the fact that he has immunity to most conventional, human weapons, or not immunity, but nigh invulnerability to conventional weapons, means that a lot of the Tyrant's, firearms won't do much. Granted, that's a high-caliber military-grade weapon, so that you might be able to argue that could still hurt him on some level. But the Tyrant also has plenty of non-conventional weapons as well, such as his tentacles, physical strength, and mutagenic capabilities that can go past there. The question just quickly becomes, A, how durable is Nemesis versus Pyramid Head in terms of what he's capable of dishing out, and B, how immortal is Pyramid Head? Because Pyramid Head can be stopped, obviously the game kind of illustrates that point if I'm not mistaken, but can he actually be killed, or is he legitimately is it like an immortality where even if you were to quote unquote kill him, he'll just come back? It's like Dracula, he always comes back. But yeah, is it kind of like that, or if you were to somehow beat Pennywise down, Pennywise would come back unless you know the exact specific way to kill him? Is it like one of those scenarios? I got nothing here. Let me just try putting in powers and abilities here. Let's see here. Powers and ability. Okay, powers and abilities. And in the game, his abilities allow him to torment survivors, trap them in cages, and attack them from a long distance with a large shockwave. None of those would really matter, I think, against the Nemesis, just because super soldier, that's not going to bother him. Okay, we have at least some things here. His super strength can allow him to hold an adult man in one hand, as shown when he catches the main character of Silent Hill 2 and lifts him up with one hand. or uses its massive blade one-handed, while if the player finds it, it requires 2 hands to carry. Pyramid Head will sometimes put his fingers in the hole in his helmet and put a hand, what the hell is that? Put a hand out in front of him. It is believed he might be sensing his opponent like this, as his helmet clearly has no eye holes. Interesting. This gives me very little to go off of here. Again, it really just comes down to that immortality thing. Because if he truly is immortal, well, then this fight will just go on until the Nemesis eventually burns out. Let's see here now. Feats. Okay. We got some feats now. All right. He's the most iconic. Oh, that's not a feat. Come on. Being iconic's not a feat. The embodiment of guilt. That word. Killed Maria. And okay, none of these really matter here. Powers and abilities. All right. Immortalities type 1, 2, 3, and possibly 8. Only died by his own hands when James no longer needed him as a punishment, but mysteriously kept appearing throughout the series. Okay, so let me see here. What is type 2 and 1 immortality? Okay. So ageless. Okay, that means he just doesn't age. Resistance immortality. This tier is for those characters who are able to survive wounds that would normally kill your average mortal via their immortal nature, without needing to recuperate or regenerate from all damage. That does not necessarily mean he is truly immortal and can't be killed, but it means this goes to the whole idea that conventional weapons don't work on him. Now, what is the 8th one? Dependent immortality. Okay, that makes sense. As the name implies, this immortality relies on the continued existence of an object, character, or even certain abstract concepts to maintain their immortality. This is actually the immortality I was talking about long ago when I was mentioning Death from Soul Eater. That he is literally the embodiment. He is death. Death will, as long as death exists, he lives. It's dependence immortality. So yeah, based on that description of this type of immortality, Nemesis in theory should still be able to at least incapacitate him. Whether or not he is able to kill him, debatable. But from a physical standpoint, Nemesis is just way too big of a target to miss, but also way too big of an individual to really be able to overpower. Honestly, he'd probably just grab the blade and just yank it out and just slam Pyramid Head on the ground. I mean, I vaguely remember the end of the movie of Silent Hill, where him and like some demon, I can't remember what it was, fought it out. And he was getting messed up a little bit. Like, it wasn't a complete smackdown on his part. But he did win ultimately. But yeah, this seems a little bit smashed, because all the Nemesis has to do is charge in real quick, get the blade out of his hand. Even if he takes a shot from the blade isn't going to one-shot him. He's too thick and powerful for that. Plus, he can heal. So even if the blade gets stuck, he just starts ripping this thing from limb, and that's kind of all she wrote. Even if even if Pyramid Head can come back from the grave, just because, dependence immortality, as long as there's guilt, he'll survive, whatever, doesn't really change that. It doesn't really change the outcome that he would lose in a straight-out fight to Nemesis. So, yeah, I would go Nemesis. He is literally a super soldier, far larger and more powerful physically than Pyramid Head, and has a massive regenerative capability that even if Pyramid Head gets injuries in on him, he can regenerate from it, and even mutate to the point where he can get new abilities. So, ultimately, yeah, I would say that this would go to Nemesis. But this is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I'll see you next time.